Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got something heavy to talk about, and I want to dive into what's been going on with Lil Baby and the recent news coming out of Atlanta. If you haven't heard, Lil Baby, whose real name is Dominique Jones, was mentioned in a press conference by the Atlanta Police Department in connection to the tragic deaths of some teens in Atlanta. He responded with a powerful statement through his legal team, and I think we need to break this down, look at the facts, and talk about what's really happening here. So, let's get into it. First off, let me say that my heart goes out to the families of the teens who lost their lives in Atlanta. No one should have to go through that kind of pain, especially when it involves young kids who had their whole lives ahead of them. This is a tragedy, and the community deserves answers, justice, and healing. But what's been happening with Lil Baby in this situation has raised some serious questions about fairness and responsibility. On Wednesday, the Atlanta Police Department held a press conference, and according to Lil Baby's legal team, Drew Findling and Marissa Goldberg, they made what sounds like a pretty indirect but pointed reference to him. Apparently, they suggested that Lil Baby not shooting a music video in Atlanta, his hometown, a place he's always shown love for, somehow ties into this case. Let's pause right there. Lil Baby's team came out swinging with a statement, calling this complete and total nonsense. And honestly, I can see why. In the statement, they said it's disgraceful to imply that Lil Baby wouldn't shoot a music video in Atlanta because of something tied to this crime. They made it clear that decisions like where to shoot a music video aren't even made by him alone. They're handled by a professional team. I mean, think about it. Lil Baby is a global superstar. He's got people who manage every detail of his career. So to drag his name into this, especially when his team says he had absolutely no involvement in the crime, feels like a stretch. They called it unprofessional, unethical, and shameful. And I gotta say, if the police don't have solid evidence, throwing his name out there like that does seem reckless. What really hits hard, though, is how Lil Baby feels about this. His team said he's devastated about what happened to those kids because they're from the same neighborhood he came from. If you know Lil Baby's story, you know he's always repped Atlanta, especially the community he grew up in. He's someone who's been through a lot, made it out, and constantly gives back. In the statement, he even promised to keep supporting his community in any way he can. That's the kind of energy we need, someone who's not just about the fame but about uplifting where they came from. So where does this leave us? Look, I'm not here to play detective or act like I know all the details of the case. That's for the authorities to figure out, and I hope they do, quickly and fairly, for the sake of those kids and their families. But what I am saying is that we need to be careful about pointing fingers, especially at someone like Lil Baby, who's done so much for Atlanta and hasn't been directly tied to this crime with any evidence we know of. His team is right to call out the Atlanta PD if they're making assumptions without proof. That's not how justice works, and it's not fair to anyone, not to the families who need real answers, and not to someone like Lil Baby, who's trying to process this tragedy just like the rest of the community. What do y'all think about this situation? Do you think the Atlanta PD was out of line for mentioning Lil Baby, or do you think there's more to the story we don't know yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear what you have to say. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any update. Let's keep the conversation going, and let's keep pushing for truth and justice. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.